Hello, this is Jasmine and welcome to a little art vlog. So I just thought I would take you through some of my week and just little clips of my life, and there will be art at the end. I will put a timestamps for if anyone just wants to watch the art portions, but I've been doing a lot of live streaming, so I'm going to try and figure out how to separate the video of that and put it in here without all of the added stuff. We'll see how it goes. But first, the beginning of my day, cooking breakfast. After breakfast, we decided to hop on the Final Fantasy XI game. It's an MMO RPG that me and Derek and my family all play, at least my mom and dad. So there's an event going on right now that's goldfish scooping, and we had a lot of fun scooping up some goldfish. We're going to do it for another event with everyone later, but it was around noon right now, and Derek has to go to work at 2:30 on Mondays, so we just played for a bit. Oh, you got the pretty chocobo. Ooh, you know what I really want to do? I want to level something. I'm in Westron Fair and I'm like, I want to kill bunnies. I want to kill worms. Now I want to kill beetles. Oh my god, I want to kill that thug. I'm gonna have to do a supercut of my own little clips that's just all the things that Jasmine wants to kill, apparently. There's our cat lady. Our fish. Listen, I'm trying to look at these fish and you just auto-follow me with a giant chocobo. Let me look at the fish. Oh yeah. Little poly fish. I was actually gonna do an artwork of me and my mom scooping goldfish out here. I got a fat juicy goldfish. Oh, the paper on my super scoop ripped. I got a black bubble eye. Hey, you moved. Right when I got in place. That's okay. Oh yeah, I got another black bubble eye. Nice. Sadly, Derek eventually had to go to work, so this was just me finishing up, getting ready for my day. I pretty much never wear mascara anymore because I don't like how much of a pain in the butt it is to take it off. I mean, I know I use cheap makeup removal wipes, but still. It's just too much hassle. I don't really have a beauty routine. This is just me getting ready for this video and streaming later. In fact, a lot of times I don't put makeup on, but I like to wear it for streaming. So this is kind of the first thing I'm working on today. Is I really want to figure out how to separate my cameras in Streamlabs so that I'm only saving the art portion. Okay, so this is a whole lot easier than I thought it would be. It turns out you just go to whatever you want and you click on this toggle selective recording, and then there's a button next to all of your stuff, and if you want it to record, then you make sure it says visible on both stream and recording, which is like the default, and then everything else you just click only visible on stream. So like you can change it only visible on recording, or visible on both, or only visible on stream. You're only allowed to judge my streaming setup and all of my files if you're being helpful about it. I've been winging it for months. Heck yeah, I did a test and everything works, which means that I can save my artwork, like separate from everything else. So I can, in fact, upload my art at the end without having to do some weird cropping or having me like going crazy in the corner and stuff flying across the screen and whatnot. So yes, it worked. I've just been editing this vlog now and realizing that it has taken me hours to edit. Mostly because I could not figure out how to get my microphone to appear on DaVinci Resolve, which was very annoying. I had to go do a bunch of workaround stuff and figure it out, but it worked out, and I've got like 6 minutes of footage already. I might just end up doing these twice a week or so instead of like once a week if I end up with enough footage, because I don't want to make these super long. I don't think my life is that interesting. But here is Saturn playing with the broom because he is a menace. I think we need to get you a dice that actually... oh, wait. That's a 5. I know it's hard to tell, but... okay, that was a 5. Here, continue with your... roll your second trait. Hey. We got a 5. That is a Drake. 56. Mechanical. No. Okay. Mechanical. Right. One more trait. 38. So for 38, we have alien, mechanical, and alien. So I think this calls for a very green dragon. Drakes have a pretty basic body, you know? But I feel like if it's alien, I could go real weird with it. It's gotta have, like, the big head and the big eyes. He looks kind of like a gecko now. He's gonna sell some insurance. I wonder if mechanical has a very specific term or if it's just like machines. I want to give this guy weird mechanical shit. He's gonna look steampunk because I don't know how machines work, and I'm pretty certain most steampunk people don't either. Actually, if he's alien, it could be futuristic. I'm just gonna start throwing shapes in here and see if anything sticks. Because we're also going with cool, not just the prompt. The prompt plus cool. I kind of want, you know, in like really cool futuristic or cyberpunky stuff or whatever, creatures that have a lot of liquid compartments in their mechanical bits that are all like glowy and stuff, because he's got to be bright green, right, for alien. Wait, I am familiar with liquid cooling. What if I just take the only real mechanical knowledge that I have, which is computer-based? Please do not try and make any sense of it, though. So in this respect, I feel like one of the biggest parts that would need cooled, I suppose, would definitely be the brain. Before anyone is too curious, I actually don't know very much about computers. My boyfriend does. So I know more about computers than I used to. I want to leave some of this blank. I need areas of rest. I am so glad this is a Drake. Well, actually it'd be cool to give it wings. But it's a Drake. I just had a cool thought for the tail. Oh, this is gonna look like intestines. And of course his legs would have, like, neat cable management. And then we'll have, like, plates. Alright, so this guy has to have long, maybe not that long, but he has to have, like, long paws. So he needs those, like, you know, like the gray man, really long fingers. This dragon looks really little. He looks like he would be a very small, like, small form factor mini ITX or something. Let's see, what parts am I missing? Obviously the CPU is behind here. Sort of. And up here. One or the other. We've got the fan. We've got the RAM. We've got the cables. I think I like this guy's design. But I'm gonna throw some quick colors on there just to see what I'm going with. Because I think I know what I'm going with. But I don't want to finalize it in the book yet. So I think I'm gonna go with dark greens and then the bright green for the eye. Is that a good alien green? So at this point I got really tired of cutting together all of the parts of the video where I was chatting and then also doing a little bit of time-lapse in between so you didn't lose anything. So I decided to cut to a voiceover style video. Let me know what you guys prefer, if you guys prefer one over the other, because I can certainly take the time to like jump cut everything together with my real-time chatting. But that being said, I thought I would talk a little bit about what was actually going on during this whole painting and everything. So what I'm doing is I'm doing Smogist, and by the time this video goes out it will be September, but basically I was doing Caitlin McKegg's Roll for Dragon for Smogist. So every day that I streamed I would roll on Caitlin McKegg's dragon prompt list, and I would roll a dice to see what type of dragon I was doing. This one is a drake. And then I would roll a D100 twice to figure out what traits I was going with. And that's what you saw in the beginning of this artwork. If anyone is unfamiliar, Caitlin McKegg is another YouTuber, streamer. She does D&D type art and tons of dragons and monster creation, and is just generally very awesome and very talented, and she's going full-time artist soon. So if anyone wants to check her stuff out, I will put that somewhere down below, a link to her stuff. And then I moved on to this part where I'm using this like fancy looking, vintage looking sketchbook, and I was originally going in with just gouache, but that got to be too slow, so I'm going in with marker, and then I use gouache afterwards. And that's basically what I'm up to here. I don't want to go too into detail with my entire process at the moment because I have a couple things to share. I talked about it briefly, but I am streaming now on Twitch, and it has been so fun and such a wonderful community, and I am just recently decided I am going full-time with the art thing. So I'm going to be streaming 4 days a week. I'm going to stream on, for the US, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And it has just been really incredibly fun. And with that, I also have a Ko-fi shop. Ko-fi is really similar to Patreon in some ways, and I'm sure everybody is familiar with what Patreon is. So basically, with my Ko-fi, you can do the same thing as on Patreon, where you essentially sub to someone, but it's not called patrons, it's called, I had to think for a second, it's called memberships on Ko-fi. And so there's like various tiers of memberships. I have a sticker tier and a stickers and prints tier, as well as a prints tier and a lower tier where you get things like access to coloring page archives and things like that, as well as like a 10% off coupon for anything in my shop. And speaking of shop, Ko-fi actually has an integrated shop face as well. So my shop and memberships are all in the same place, as well as commissions. So if anyone was ever interested in any of that kind of stuff, I now have a Ko-fi, and I would be super, super appreciative if anybody checked it out. Even if you don't feel like actually joining up for a membership or buying anything at the time, you can always hit follow and just stay up to date with any new items I put up in the shop and things like that. That being said, I feel like I should talk a little bit about the artwork and my process, because I've got some extra time here at the end. So with this dragon, because I got mechanical and I went with computer and I got alien, I definitely needed this green glow, and I've got like an AIO sort of thing attached to the shoulder. I eventually decided that what I really thought was going on was that the CPU, being the processor and all, that type of thing would definitely be in the chest, kind of like the way a heart would be. And then the graphics card would definitely be up in the head, you know, where the eyes and all of the sensors and stuff like that is. So that's my general thought process. I guess the PSD would be also in the chest or the main body, maybe more towards the back because that's where all the cords are coming from. I put down a layer of Copic just to give it a really solid base for me to then paint on top of with my gouache. And if you'll notice, unlike a lot of gouache artists, I like to go in thin and work my way up with layers. This might seem a little bit odd because you're thinking, well, gouache, that's something that's meant to be painted opaque, right? But there's so many different ways that artists can go about using the same materials. And when you thin down gouache, it isn't exactly like watercolor. Yes, it's very, very similar, and I am familiar with watercolor, so that's like a big reason why I would use it this way. But that being said, it does build on top of itself because it has the more opaque pigments. So as long as you're careful not to scrub out whatever you have already laid down on the paper, you can go in with gouache in thinner layers and you can work your way up in opacity. And that's what I've been doing here, especially in the metal bits. I went with a layer of marker and then watered down gouache and started putting like more and more opaque layers onto it. And that way it just gives me quite a bit of depth in my paintings, and it's the way that I have been practicing for a while now. I love to watch it go on and then like slowly fade away but leave a little ghosting of color there. And then of course when I feel like I need a really bright highlight or a really solid color, I can always go in with much thicker gouache and get a very opaque layer down there. I did that with some of the highlights in the cooling tanks on this little dragon. I also did pretty much with any of the bright highlights. I will go in with very opaque gouache. And then I also take my gel pen. I love these, I think they're Sakura Moonlight gel pens, and they're so bright and colorful. Unfortunately, the white one seems to be the one that works the very least. Like, this yellow is so much more intense and easier to use. But that being said, I really, really, really like the way this little alien guy is turned out, and I really like the way the next ones do as well. You will see them in the coming art vlogs that I'm working on, and I hope everybody liked this style of video. Let me know what you think and if there's anything I could improve on. Do you want like background music behind this voiceover or anything like that? Just let me know what you thought of it, and yeah, I had a lot of fun, and this type of video is just much easier for me to output than trying to think of something completely separate from my streams. But you guys will be getting some little behind the scenes of the way I set up for stream, and some sketches and some other things that I might not be including in streams, like challenges, like 3-color challenges and stuff. I want to do some of those. Oh no, but I'm running out of time, so thank you all for watching, and bye!